Up next on Taste Texas, we're grilling a Middle Eastern kebab with a side of fresh Texas veggies straight from the farmer's market. Plus, if you've got a sweet tooth, you'll want to stick around for our 5-minute feast. Chef Garth makes a bruleed Greek yogurt cheesecake. So pull up a chair and join us at the table for today's Taste Texas. Kushnir.
And I'm Chef Garth Blackburn.
What are we making today, by the way?
One of my favorite long menu titles. This is going to be a Texafied Middle Eastern Kebab Platter.
Oh my gosh. Garth has really long titles, in case you haven't noticed yet. He likes to get every ingredient into the titles so that...
You want to know what you're eating, right?
This is true, but I like to make it really condensed. So just...
Kebabs.
There we go. See? That's all I needed to hear. We're making kebabs.
We're making Amy kebabs today.
There we go.
So
sounds delicious.
Let's take a look at what we're starting with. This is going to be, this is actually ground lamb, which I got from Matador. So he'll grind it fresh for you. One of our favorite places, Matador Meat and Wine, awesome butcher shop. So you could do whatever you want though. You could do beef. I like to do bison because it's low in fat. You can do chicken, make your own decision. It's very versatile for the setup because what we're going for here is flavor.
Okay.
And what I'm gonna start with is giving you an onion to grate. So these are some noonday onions from Noonday, Texas.
As opposed to nighttime.
From the city, there you go, so you'll grate that.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to chop up some herbs. I've got some cilantro, some parsley, and some fresh mint, all kind of classically put together. A lot of times when people chop at home, they just start randomly chopping at their herbs. You get a little bit everywhere and the sizes are all different.
Right.
So what I do is I roll it as tight as I can. It's a really tiny ball. And now, move that one to the side, I make the knife cuts really close together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So now I cut about 10 times right there. I'm gonna go back across this way.
And now it's nice and minced.
And that wasn't even, I mean, you know, normally for me it's pretty quick, but if you're not that fast, in 10 cuts, I had the parsley, the cilantro, and the mint all about the same size.
And I'm not that fast at grating, I'm really slow. Meanwhile,
chopped
back
all
at the ranch.
those herbs, the time it's taken Amy to get one noonday onion.
It's a good thing I'm not crying yet. That's, all right, we're good.
All right, I wouldn't clean your hands yet. You're gonna grate some garlic on the smaller.
No, okay.
Love peeled garlic. We got this from, and you guys are gonna see shortly, George's Market there in Plano, Farmer's Market. And it's peeled, but it's fresh. That bottled, that jarred stuff, I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
And this will hold good in your refrigerator for at least a week. So we'll put this in.
I don't know where that garlic is.
Did you throw the whole clove in there?
No, it's down there on the side. There you go.
Salt.
Here, hold on.
Pepper.
There you go. Now it's in
shaken.
there. Yeah.
All right, so these are the spices typically used in a lot of Middle Eastern, some Mediterranean food. That's cinnamon. This is going to be coriander, which coriander is actually the same as cilantro. That's just the spice version. This is cumin. Some allspice. And you asked me last week if I could substitute a certain fresh ingredient for a powdered one. I decided just for you, and since you're crying about it right now,
I know, my eyes are, I didn't want to say it, but my eyes are
powdered ginger.
Okay. Oh, thank you. See?
Yep.
But if I were at the store, I would buy that ginger and do it fresh.
Ginger and grate it.
Yes.
So with this, I'm now good to go. I'm just going to mix this in. And we're going to shape little kebabs out of this. We're going to do these long cylinders and then flatten them. I always find that, you know, those wooden skewers on your grill, they burn. Yeah. The metal ones get so hot that if you're not touching them with, you know, a hot pad, that you get burned. So instead, you're going to see how we can shape these.
I heard that you could soak the skewers.
You can, and I can tell you the number of times that I remember to soak the skewers more than 5 minutes beforehand is.
And I don't know how long you're supposed to do that. Like, I don't know if it's an hour or
a few hours ideally.
So then you got to think ahead.
So let's get your hands dirty. We're going to mix this in and shape some kebabs.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Grab about half of that. Okay, what we're going to start with, because we want this to get really nice and bound together.
Right.
Squeeze it. Okay. And now
All right.
You're gonna start rolling it. Okay, so this is creating the cylinder. Okay, and because I'm just gonna do 2 sides, I'm gonna flatten that cylinder a little bit. How about that? Or that. And the shape really does not matter. So
Mine's sad.
you just wanna make sure the thickness is the same.
Kebab.
Not sure what that is. Then there's enough fat in a lamb. If you did something low fat,
add more to
we'd
that?
want to use
No,
some
we're good.
oil.
Okay.
We'll take a look how Amy's is grilling up, and when we come back,
And we can wash
we're
our
going to pull
hands.
that off the grill, get our hands washed up, and be ready to roll with the rest of the
Sad
dish.
kebab over there. Oh well, we'll be right back.
I love that little in piece.
We got these kebabs, as Garth calls them, on the grill here, and
What was the name from the studio audience for years? Was it Kebab? What? Or was it something else?
it kind of looks like a kebab. Whatever, I don't care. It's going to taste good anyway.
It is going to taste good. The perfect shape doesn't matter. So we're just going to take those. We're going to finish them off in the oven whenever you're ready for about 15 minutes at 350 degrees to cook them all the way through. But we need some veggies to go with this.
Yes, and speaking of veggies, we took a really fun trip out to George's Farmers Market. It was so fun. Amazing little place. Y'all need to check this out.
Cameron, how are you? I'm Chef Garth.
Hi.
This is Amy.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I've bought from you all before. I know there's a story. Tell me a little bit about it.
Just a little bit about our store. My grandfather, it's family owned. He's been in the business for the last 40 years, all over DFW. As far as this one here, we took it over from an old family friend of ours. So we've owned this for about 12 years now.
So you bring in all the groceries and the local produce from surrounding areas?
As much as we can, we try to keep it as local as possible. Not just in the produce, but in the jams, jellies, tortillas, chips, just everything we try to keep as local as possible.
Love those.
Sounds good.
Love those. Let's go take a look. Let's get started. Okay, so tell me, in this little area, what are we looking at that's from Texas?
The okra over here is coming out of Princeton. And then the squash, the cucumbers, even the potatoes right now, the jalapenos, banana peppers, they're all East Texas.
Amy, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but a lot of times when you see a jalapeno that has stripes on it and it looks like wrinkly, it's not the age. That typically means that it spent more time in the sun, which means it'll be a lot hotter.
Oh, really?
Tell us what the story is on golden squash.
Golden squash, they just, I guess, out of nowhere decided to mix yellow squash and zucchini together.
To me, it's a texture thing. Like this, we get the color, you know, chefs like that on the plate, but you get the texture, the body, and the flavor of zucchini. So I dig this.
Thank you very much.
All right, excited to cook with your stuff.
So much fun there, and of course we got to ride in style again a Crest Cadillac, wonderful Escalade.
And the thing about George's is, I mean, it's a farmer's market. You can drive right in, literally, because it's actually garage doors. So found out the pedals are adjustable on the new Escalade, so I barely got to the break in time, but we managed to keep everybody intact.
But I love the fact that they're family owned and several generations back, you know, the grandfather still is involved. And
it was fun. So here's what we picked out there. Texas grown for pretty much all of this. Some golden zucchini, golden squash, some regular zucchini, yellow squash, some bell pepper, got a lot of good stuff. So here is how to create the perfect dice. And how are you with the mandolin, also known as a finger slicer?
Mine at home tends to be my finger slicer.
So,
but I try, I really do try.
Here's my thought. I'm going to do the first one, the smaller one. Here's my thought on it, and that is, you can use the guard. I just find that it becomes very cumbersome.
It is.
So I'm just very careful, go really slow. Right now, I've got it set to the teeth coming up, so it's about a ½ inch wide. So what you end up with is a perfect little sphere. I'm just doing the outside. It's the most nutritious part. I'll push right where it was. It's the most nutritious part, and it's going to stay pretty crunchy. Now, here's how I see it. This is about a 45-cent piece of golden squash. It's a lot less expensive than getting one of these reattached.
Exactly.
So I toss it, or you can compost it, or whatever you'd like.
Or
Why don't you do
I think one time you said save those pieces for soup or
soup.
something later.
Wow.
I took notes.
You are.
I was
impressed.
listening. See, I'm taking notes. But that's what?
Okay,
what?
so keep those fingers up on the top part. Okay, the fingers on the side are the ones you need to watch out for.
Okay, I got
I
that.
just don't want to tap it on my clock is the way that I see it.
Oops, I lost
Okay,
a
that's
piece.
fine. Here's what you do. Flip it over. Just grab them from this end, yank them out. Just don't get your finger near that blade. So we can
All
just
right.
discard that. You can
Good.
just grab
Awesome.
a blade like that.
All right, so I got a little bit left there.
So take a look at this. This is how to get the perfect dice. So if you want that restaurant dice, then best way to do it is to send it through, because you've got this beautiful cut already.
Right.
I'm going to line it up, and then I'm going to cut just across like this, and look how perfect all those cubes are. And again, this isn't chef magic. I mean, this is
Yes,
you
it
can
is.
no, you can take your time. The chef magic part would be if you're in a rush. And that's going to be a little bit faster.
That's the chef magic part, right?
But you guys at home could absolutely do this just a little
Okay.
bit slower motion.
Right, to save the hands. Save the hands. Okay, so
This is going to be the base for our marinated salad. Okay,
okay.
That's going to be our little side. We've got a few other veggies that are going to go with it, like some peppers and some tomatoes. And then we're going to crank out some garlic cucumber sauce made with Greek yogurt to go with
sounds delicious.
We'll
Okay,
put it all
we got to
together.
take a quick break, but we're going to come back. Good eating coming up.
All right, now it's time to finish some things off. We've got a few more vegetables to get cut.
Yes.
We've got the cucumber yogurt sauce to get fired up, and our meat is in the oven at 350. It's going to cook for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And we'll show you how to put it all together.
Perfect.
A little chef's tip on this is once you have a cutting board full of food,
Right.
easiest way to get it off is actually take your bowl and put it under the board, slide the board off the edge of the table. Wasn't that a lot faster than trying to pick up each individual piece?
Yes, great idea.
Okay, peppers. These are some Texas jalapenos. These are from George's. Again, my recommendation when it comes to cutting peppers is to get, or anything, is to get a flat spot. Okay. Then I'm going to cut down the sides.
Right.
Now I know you like a little bit spicy, so I can take a little bit of the center, and that'll be a little spicy.
Okay.
This is going to be more pepper flavor, not quite as hot.
Right.
Okay. Okay, what's your other favorite pepper? I've got one of them sitting out here.
Poblano?
I thought it was Hatch.
Oh, is this a hatch?
It is, but the cool thing is because it's late in the season, this is a hatch also.
Oh, it turned red.
They'll all start to turn like a
Yes,
red or a
yes.
dark brown.
Oh my gosh, this is the time of year to be using those. And then if you can, freeze them for the fall and the
I
winter.
know you have a bunch of frozen ones as well.
Yep,
Well, and you can actually roast them and freeze them after they're already roasted.
I've done that before. It was good.
I'm impressed.
I have done that.
All right, last item we put in here is some tomato. I cut off the bottom. And then if the center, which these are such delicious Jacksonville tomatoes, that also makes it really juicy, which I don't want in that salad. So I'm going to unroll it.
Look how fancy. Like, have you ever cut a tomato like
Even
that?
you
No,
can
I
do
haven't
that.
Either. Well, you did that one time with a piece of meat. I saw that on a
Did
steak
on
or
my
something.
little 5-minute meal. That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
That's a great idea if you're trying to get that little thin layer.
And that way it cooks fast too. And people like yourself that don't like the medium rare as much,
Right.
there's not as much of a cold center. Okay, and the last item is going to be the full-size bell pepper. Same thing here. I'm just cutting it off the bottom. I can actually save some of that for later use. I'll stack this, and that way when I dice it, I only have to make one cut across instead of two. So see how it's double layered there?
Right.
All right.
Perfect.
Time for you to get ready for some cucumber
Oh, great.
garlic
More
yogurt
cooking.
sauce.
Awesome.
All right, so add in a clove of garlic to
Okay.
this. This is plain Greek yogurt.
Just one?
Don't make this mistake I had before, which is inadvertently putting in vanilla flavored Greek yogurt.
Oh no.
Not so good. Yeah.
I bet that was good.
Everybody makes a mistake at a time or two. Okay, half a lemon, if you would. Salt.
Whoop. Okay.
Pepper.
All right. Plenty of juice.
One leaf of mint,
Just one.
and start pureeing.
You're pretty specific on that. I would have put
Yeah,
at
it'd be
least
too overwhelming.
Do you know I still have not bought one of these? Why are you laughing?
I just remember the first time.
Yeah, I know.
I should back up.
And I mentioned that I needed to buy one so I could have more practice, but...
Practice.
Well, okay.
That looks pretty good right there.
Okay, perfect. And don't pull it out when it's still on. That's the first tip.
We all learned that the hard way when Amy did that the first time. So, yeah. Okay, so our Greek yogurt sauce is done. Right. This could be reserved in your refrigerator for up to a week, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, the vegetables, this can soak overnight. All I did for the kind of the marinade of the dressing is some red wine vinegar.
Right.
A little bit of Texas olive ranch, extra virgin olive oil.
And you're just letting this soak overnight.
You can serve them in 20 minutes if you want to, but if you want to do this ahead of time so you don't have a lot of last minute craziness, then yeah, absolutely.
And they won't be too soft.
No, that's the great thing about having that fresh zucchini and squash is that it's not going to break down like if you did cucumber and tomato, it'd become really mushy overnight.
Right.
So no, you're good to go with that.
Awesome. Okay, so we have just a little bit more to go, right? Are we getting close to being done here?
We're going to wrap it all up here at the last segment.
This is looking amazing. I'm really getting hungry. So, okay, one more break. We'll be right back, and then we're going to eat. It's going to be good. We'll be right back.
All right, we are back in the Sub-Zero and Wolf Prep Kitchen where all the fun and the action happens. We're gonna be making a bruleed Greek yogurt cheesecake, and let me show you how easy it is. So we're gonna start with some cream cheese. It's 8 ounces there. Okay, and to this, we're gonna add some milking cream. We're gonna add about a tablespoon of that milking cream. It's gonna be a little bit chunky. That's because it's not homogenized, which means that delicious cream is gonna float up to the top. Now we're gonna take some yogurt. This is Bulgarian, you could use Greek yogurt. This is not sweetened. So I'm gonna be putting in about 2 tablespoons of this Bulgarian yogurt. To this, I'm gonna add some sweetened Greek yogurt. Again, a couple tablespoons here. So I'm gonna put in about a tablespoon of some Texas goat cheese. We're gonna put in about half of a cup of sugar, or for those of y'all that follow recipes exactly, it'll be exactly half a cup of sugar. And then the last thing is going to be some vanilla. So a vanilla bean that I split down the center with my knife. And now we're gonna puree it. Okay, now it's time to cook this bruleed, or soon-to-be bruleed, Greek yogurt cheesecake. I'm gonna just pour this into some ramekins. I only wanna fill it about half or 3/4 of the way. Cover up each ramekin with foil. Just put that over the top, being careful not to let it dip down into the center. Now it's time to cook them. Just got some water with the steam insert. I'm gonna put each ramekin down in there. We'll just put the lid on, set our timer for 25 minutes, and then we're gonna end up with some perfectly cooked cheesecake. We'll just need to let it come to room temperature, let it chill in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. Okay, so I just pulled these cheesecakes out of my Sub-Zero. It's time to brulee the top for that caramelized deliciousness that we all love on creme brulee, but we're applying it to cheesecake. So here's what we're gonna do. This is now chilled. I'm going to take some regular white sugar. I'm gonna put on more than what I need. Then I'm gonna shake it, shake off the excess, and then dump it back into the bowl. So we're gonna lock this down. I'm going to start to caramelize that sugar. We'll let that cool down slightly. That will allow the sugars to set, and then they'll be crunchy. And then we're gonna go with the all-important garnish. So I've got some fresh raspberries, some fresh blueberries, and then always a fun one, got some edible flowers here. All right, that looks like a great one. Easy, sophisticated, put it all together. That bruleed Greek yogurt cheesecake will absolutely be a big hit at your next party.
You're gonna be in about 5 minutes because we're gonna put this thing all together. I'm ready.
Or 2 minutes, yeah, we're ready to roll. I'm toasting some flatbread. Instead of making this, find your favorite either Middle Eastern or even Greek restaurant, just buy some of their bread. So I'm just gonna toast it. Okay, meanwhile, I've got the beef that's in the oven, finished cooking it through. And because this has all that seasoning and onion and everything else in it, I'm going to cook this Amy style to medium well.
Oh,
so
thank
it's
you.
Be fully cooked
so
through.
nice.
Now let's get some of our little toppings here.
Yes.
So, and I tell you what, I don't like putting undressed greens like lettuce onto anything.
Really?
Yeah, I like to add a little flavor. So this is some Texas olive ranch balsamic. Why don't you put a little bit of the oil on also?
Okay. I would have just done the lettuce with nothing on it, but I'm good with that.
Yeah, but you'd have dressing on salad, right? So this is the total package.
Okay.
All right, I tell you what, why don't you go ahead and put some of your ingredients on here. Some of the lettuce.
All right.
Some of the feta cheese, some Texas tomatoes.
Is that too much lettuce?
No, not at all.
Why don't you have a little salad with your kebab? Okay.
And then
what
I
else?
use some Texas pickled okra instead of the actual pickles.
You like that? Is that good?
Put
Okay.
some salt on there too.
And you got this pickled okra over here that I'm learning to love. I'm not a huge pickled okra fan, but
in here, I
try
think
it.
that acidity you'll really appreciate.
how about some cheese? Cheese on it?
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay.
the feta.
Oh man. Good Lord, you could cut that in 3s and feed a family.
All right, and then this is that Greek yogurt sauce that you made.
Oh yeah, nice. Oh, and tip on that, don't what is that?
Overthingify it? Don't overthingify it.
Because then it gets a little runny. So if you go on the easier side, it's gonna be a little thicker for you. I learned that after the fact.
Good. I learned that
really
you like
gonna-
to make a large sandwich. I can't wait for you to taste this one. All right, smash
no.
it down. That sauce is going to bind it.
Seriously?
Cut it at an angle. That's going to be a prettier little finish right there.
Yeah. Nice.
So this would be
It's really pretty.
your finished plate.
Really pretty. Okay.
Ready for you to
Awesome.
dig in and let us know.
Well, we have to get a pretty picture of that thing. I hate to just dive in. So, okay, I'll do it. You go ahead and tell the folks how they get this recipe. Go ahead.
You guys can go to our website, tastetexastv.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all of it. It's all under Taste Texas TV. You guys can get the recipes, some other tips, and some other exciting information, and some web exclusives as well. So I encourage y'all to tune in and come check us out.
And this is delicious, by the way. If you can't tell, I just stuffed the whole thing in my
I'm
mouth.
impressed, and you're still talking.
Okay, thanks for joining us, y'all, and we will see you next week for more good stuff.